Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture, and coming up today we're going to tell you the latest developments in the speaking out movement. We're going to talk about Marty Scurll, we're going to talk about JoeyRyan. We've also got the latest on the SammyGuevara situation. On top of that, I'm going to tell you all about the rating for this week's WWERaw.
Plus, 2 Raw stars have been tipped for big things in WWE, and MSG pays tribute to The Undertaker. This is the news.
We're going to kick things off with speaking out. So Marty Scurll, you might know him from Ring of Honor, you might know him from the British Indies. Big name out with wrestling's biggest promotions. Been in the Ring of Honor since 2016, I believe. He's the head booker there now, signed a lucrative new deal at the beginning of the year. But earlier this week, his name came up. He was accused of sexually abusing an intoxicated 16-year-old in 2015, an IPW UK show. He's come through with a statement on the matter. I'm going to read it to you verbatim, just as he posted it on Twitter last night. I am aware that a young woman has bravely come forward with her account of sexual abuse by some members of the wrestling community in the UK 5 years ago, a community I was part of. Although I truly believe that our encounter that evening was consensual and the fact that the encounter was legal is almost not the point. I understand that she now views our encounter as part of a bigger problem in the wrestling community. What concerns me at this moment is that from what I have been reading, she is a fan of wrestling and she has been made to feel unsafe within that community. This is not acceptable. I also understand that people have been attacking her on social media, and I implore you to please stop. She has a right to her voice and it is our responsibility to listen. That's Marty Scurll's statement on the matter. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've said this numerous times, but we're just going to repeat it now. There's no space for us to speculate on the stories, on the accusations, and on the responses. We are just going to report them to you and let you make your own decisions. And as we've said, we will just keep you updated as these stories develop. But once again, please, if you have these stories and you feel brave enough, tell people about it. This hashtag speaking out is doing great things to hopefully transform this industry, which is in dire need of change, Andy.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Let me update you on the situation with SammyGuevara. We've been keeping up with that all this week. He has now uploaded an apology video to his YouTube channel following AEW's decision, of course, to suspend the up-and-comer after footage of him making a tasteless, sick joke towards WWE Sasha Banks back in 2016 resurfaced earlier this week. He posted this video entitled "I'm Sorry," and it sees Guevara apologise to anyone he let down, to Sasha, to anyone he hurt with his words. He also announced an indefinite hiatus from social media and YouTube content creation. He says he's grown a lot over these past 4 years, and looking back at what he did in 2016, he sees a different person, basically. One of the final quotes he says is, "Whenever I do come back, I will be better." Of course, AEW sending him to sensitivity training. Sammy said that his sensitivity training will let him become a better version of himself. You know, it was horrible what he said about Sasha Banks on that video from a few years ago. The only thing we can take away from this, Andy, is hopefully he's learning from it, as he seems to have suggested there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, it's one thing to say the right things, and I do believe he has said the right things here, and in his conversation with Sasha Banks and her statement, which was just tremendously professional and full of class. But yeah, it's one thing to say the right things, but you have to follow up on them. So with the sensitivity training, with his salary going to the women's group in Jacksonville, it's now on Sammy to demonstrate that he's been able to eliminate these behaviours from his character and show that through his actions. So fingers crossed he's able to do that, because he does seem sincere. Terrible, awful, disgusting, repulsive, abhorrent thing. Any negative adjective you want to attach to that, go right ahead. It was awful.
With AEW Dynamite, I should point out tonight, obviously he was going to be facing Matt Hardy, just in case you've missed that. That is now going to be Matt Hardy versus Santana instead for tonight. So AEW have dealt with it on the TV side of things as well.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just hope he comes back from all of this having genuinely changed, and we can all move forward from this just really horrible incident between two wrestlers. It's just ghastly stuff.
Yeah, once again, credit to Sasha Banks for handling it so well.
100%. I cannot think of any way whatsoever that she could have handled this any better. Tremendous. Let's move over to Being the Elite. They have announced that they have removed all episodes featuring JoeyRyan. JoeyRyan has, of course, been accused multiple times throughout the Speaking Out movement of several accounts of sexual abuse, misconduct, assault. Just really gross, terrible stuff. We got a statement from the Young Bucks yesterday, and it read the following. Again, this is just verbatim. Hi guys and girls, we hope this video provides an escape or even maybe makes you laugh during these tough times. We love you all. Out of respect to the victims, we have begun the process of taking down BTE videos which featured an accused serial sexual abuser. Our biggest regret is providing a platform unknowingly to such a despicable person. Our hearts go out to the victims and everybody else affected. This came just 24 hours after Kenny Omega had announced that the latest episode of BTE would be delayed on account of what was going on. The episode came out yesterday. I believe it's number 109, 209, something like that. Ryan, of course, you know, all kinds of crazy allegations. Marty Scurll is a close associate of these fellows. Must be in like a third of the videos as well. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes of that. But again, we're not going to speculate on that. JoeyRyan gone from the platform. Right thing to do.
Absolutely. Let's move over and talk about WWE and some exciting news for fans of Angel Garza and Andrade. I got praised on Twitter yesterday for my pronunciation, I should say, of Angel Garza's name. Apparently they've been earmarked for long-term success getting in WWE. This is according to Dave Meltzer on the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio. Apparently WWE have significant plans for the duo, who seemingly look to set themselves up as the next contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships on Monday. The Street Profits defended those titles against the Viking Raiders in a decent little match, actually, on Monday night. And then post-match, after hugging and fist bumping and doing all that sort of thing with the Viking Raiders, they were jumped by Andrade and Angel Garza, seemingly setting them up for that, which is probably the best, because in singles action, Zelina Vega's stable has been crap. But you can't deny how talented they are. We've mentioned just a while back how Angel Garza is being sort of earmarked as the next Eddie Guerrero, which is simultaneously, I find, like a really good compliment and really reductive to just be like, oh, you're just new Eddie Guerrero. But anyway, great news. They're so talented and they definitely deserve this, Andy Murray.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see that they've moved away from the tension they were teasing following the expulsion of Austin Theory from the group as well. Two really talented guys, two guys we talk about all the time as candidates for potential elevation. I think it was quite telling recently that when Becky Lynch stepped away, when they have the Raw graphic at the top of the website, they replaced her with Garza, which is a really good sign. You put your biggest stars on the banner and all that stuff. So clearly see a lot in these people. Zelina Vega's a tremendous manager for these guys to have as well. Love the kind of characters, love the gimmicks, love the little Lothario shtick that Garza works. He's just a really good all-round worker. We've been praising Andrade for years. We don't need to do that anymore. But yeah, this is good to hear, and I hope they follow through on it.
Yes, great news. Great news. More of this sort of thing.
Absolutely. Raw viewership was steady this week, so came in at a total, an average across the 3 hours of 1.92 million. That is down slightly from last week, which was 1.94, but that falls within the margin of error on the Nielsen system, so, you know, it's nothing really. The demographic, the 1849, pardon me, basically identical to last week, 0.53. This shows us that the Championship Monday, which is what it was billed as, it didn't bump up the viewership, but it held it steady. It's the second highest since the night after WrestleMania 36. The highest was, of course, last week. We had stuff like Ric Flair coming back. Big Show was on the show. The big championship matches. There was a lot going on, so it makes sense that this has held on to the viewership.
Yeah, I think there's two things here. Obviously, we're sort of coming out the back of the usual sort of crap period for WWE as we head towards SummerSlam. It generally seems to pick up a little bit as the casual fans kind of get back into it post-WrestleMania, as you said. And Extreme Rules, which is just kind of an intrigue, or Extreme Rules, if you look at the graphic now. There's that. But also, in the last few weeks, WWE just made a really good show. Like, SmackDown's been great for so long now. NXT has kind of been up and down depending on whether or not they want to go head-to-head with Dynamite and really compete against them or just, you know, focus on making a good show. But yeah, I really enjoyed Championship Monday. I enjoyed the previous week's Monday Night Raw as well. look, you could turn around and argue, well, initially, when we saw the figures, that's off the back of a pay-per-view, off the back of Backlash. Well, maybe it wasn't going to hold. It's dropped slightly, if at all, as you said there, Andy. Great news. Keep doing what you're doing, because Raw, for the 3-hour show, is at the bare minimum bearable now, Andy, if not improving.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Steps forward. Things are looking all right. Things are looking pretty solid. It's never going to be great under these circumstances, but they seem to be making improvements here and there. You know, there's still stuff like the ninjas, which will laugh at perversely, but, looking at it kind of objectively is not a good idea. Either way, the big stuff's hitting. Randy Orton's great at the moment, for example. Drew McIntyre's a really great WWE champion. They're doing the right thing, so please keep it going.
Yeah, exciting times. Am I right in thinking, is tonight the triple threat on NXT? I believe
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So there's the triple threat for the NXT North American Championship, which will lead to the winner of that going on to face Adam Cole for the NXT Championship in a couple of weeks' time. But also, I'm also right in thinking, Andy, it's the go-home show ahead of Fyter Fest, which of course will take place over the next couple of Wednesdays.
Yeah, it is, man. There's a lot going on.
What a day! What a day! Wednesday's so good for wrestling.
Love the Wednesdays.
Right, let's move on to our final story of the day, centering around MSG. They paid tribute to The Undertaker in the wake of the news that the dead man is likely done with professional wrestling. There was a thank you Taker sign stuck up on the big screen outside Madison Square Garden. They also tweeted it with a message saying, delivering 30 years of legendary moments to the world's most famous arena, hashtag thank you Taker at WWE. WWE also came out with the accompanying press statement as the WWE Universe celebrates the incredible legacy of The Undertaker in the wake of the groundbreaking WWE Network docuseries The Last Ride. Just put yourselves on the back there, WWE. MSG honoured the dead man with a message on its iconic marquee. Spelled it wrong, there's only one eye in this iconic they've written. Anyway, the world's most famous arena has been home to many iconic Undertaker moments, including the bone-chilling return of his dead man persona to Battlecade at WrestleMania 20, of course. Although there's much that can be said about the dead man's near 30-year WWE career, the three words illuminating the front of MSG say it all: thank you, Taker. Andy Murray, a lovely message, a lovely touch, but I can't be the only one going, this is all bollocks, and I hate to bring back a gimmick, but for once I really genuinely believe this is a work, right?
I mean, the guy literally said on The Last Ride, if Vince has got an idea, I might come back. It's kind of like, it's impossible to take any wrestling retirement at face value because Terry Funk exists. But yeah, man, I take all of these things with a pinch of salt. Maybe in his heart he truly believes he's done and he truly doesn't want to do anything more. But as we've seen with The Undertaker, that can change, when WrestleMania season starts picking up and he goes, that Boneyard was kind of fun. Maybe I could do another one of these cinematic matches where it's all kind of choreographed with a younger opponent who can take the bumps. I don't have to hurt myself or take risks. Sign me up. That's probably going to happen again. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, I've done a few podcasts about this recently. WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, if you want to go and check those out. Few things here. Right, all right, granted, just because The Undertaker signed a 15-year contract that'll take him up to being 69, nice, it does not necessarily mean he's going to be wrestling, every WrestleMania until he's 69, for example, nice. But it does seem to suggest that they are going to use him a little bit more. I get it that is also probably part of making sure he doesn't go elsewhere or do, tours or anything like that. He just stays within the WWE bubble. But I don't think they're signing him a 15-year contract just to stop him from going elsewhere and also to have him pop up, backstage on a SmackDown having a Slurpee or something. I feel like there's still something there. We said us immediately after WrestleMania, the cinematic match added probably another 10 years to his wrestling career because of the way they can sort of work around it. But also, look, I'll hold my hands up. I haven't seen the final episode of The Last Ride yet, but from what I've seen, the clips I've seen and the reports I've seen, yes, it does seem like a wonderful, there he goes, riding off into the night. That's a lovely send-off. You cannot tell me Mark Calloway, as much as he sort of had that moment and then got himself sad, obviously, because he watched back that god-awful match with Roman Reigns. As much as he had that at WrestleMania all those years ago, he is going to want one more, even though not necessarily a match, one more WrestleMania moment, just a tombstone to some goober to say to 100,000 people, see you later sort of thing.
See you later. Yeah, I mean, like, you really gonna say goodbye to professional wrestling on a closed set somewhere in Florida? It was a great match. The Boneyard ruled. Don't get me wrong, but are you really gonna wave goodbye to your career after something that 20 people were there for in the flesh? I don't know, Mark. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I want everyone to remember this when Survivor Series rolls around, the 30-year anniversary of The Undertaker's debut. If you tweeted "Thank you, Taker" and then he shows up, have a word with yourself.
You're a silly sausage.
Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch with us. Ooh, Stuart Taylor starting us off. With their recent loss after building up as serious contenders, do you think the... Iconics!
Wow, that was a big one.
Will be forgotten about again. I hope not. P.S. Sorry for the shout. Iconic, Andy. That's from Stuart Taylor. What do you make of it all? Because I'm incredibly biased, and I think they should have one more match for the titles.
It's kind of a hard one to telegraph because there's still not really a lot of proper tag teams in that women's division, the women's tag team division. So if you kind of look at it and break down the roster, you sit there and you go, well, who the hell else are the champions going to face? Kabuki Warriors are occupied with other things. Kairi Sane's on the treatment table. Asuka's the champ, obviously, the Raw Women's Champion. It's not a whole lot else going on. So, man, I think they're going to use those belts as a vehicle to split Bayley and Sasha and start off that feud. The Iconics are a really good choice to do that because they're so bloody annoying. I like them, don't get me wrong, but that's their character. They're really annoying. I could see them moving back into the picture, man. You know, wins and losses don't always mean the most in WWE, so to me it doesn't matter really that much that they've flubbed a couple of chances. It should matter to me, but it's WWE. I accept it for what it is. They'll be back in that picture within a month, I reckon, and they could well be the wedge that kills. I don't know why Bayley has started calling Da Boss and Da Blue. Stop saying Da, Bayley, but she could be Da Wedge between the two of them.
Yeah, I've seen speculation. It could be Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, of course, because they're meeting backstage on Raw. But I would hope that Billy Bloody... Oh, but happy belated birthday, by the way, for yesterday for Billy Bloody Kay. Can't believe I forgot that. If she was here, do you know what she'd say? You got to be joking me. You got any journalism for that? Anyway, happy belated birthday to her. I hope they have one more shot and win those tag titles, but I can see another team, maybe an NXT team, as we suggested previously, taking them off Sasha and Bayley, but I can see that a lot more than I can see Bayley and Sasha holding all the gold heading into SummerSlam, for example. Second question today comes from Fatima Khan, who says, in their ratings panic, how long before WWE brings back the real best wrestler in the world, Shane McMahon?
Yeah, I mean, I can see them doing that. Oh God, Shane. I haven't missed him. The thing is, I get a really perverse pleasure out of his really crap matches with the punches and the rubbish submissions. I love that crap. It's kind of car crash entertaining, but when you have the heel character on TV every single week, it's just a bit oh my God, just stop, Shane. This is no good. Yeah, I can see them doing that. They have a really high... They value the McMahons' draws really highly. We know this. Shane, does he want to travel and do all this stuff in the middle of a global health crisis when he's not an executive and he doesn't have that obligation? He's just a performer. I don't know, but it's definitely something I can see them doing. He might face Drew, man. They've got a history. They faced the Graveyard Dogs together, the real greatest tag team of all time. They might do that. I don't know. I hope they don't.
I have a feeling when they bring him back, they might bring him back as a babyface, you know? Because I feel like they'll think, enough time's gone by. And also, we were talking about this yesterday, Andy, about, what would be the greatest thing to happen when crowds are finally back. What do we want to hear? Do we want to hear the glass shattering and Stone Cold coming out? Or do we want to hear The Rock? It's going to be, here comes the money. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, basically.
Shane things. God, I don't...
Final question today comes from Vicstar Bazinga Marriott, shout out to the Sidemen, who says, should Otis become Universal Champ?
Whoa.
Yeah. I thought it's a very straight question, but it's I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know what the answer is either, because I don't look at Otis and his act, like, and his everything about him, right? From his charisma to his in-ring ability to his look to his gimmick. I don't look at that total package and go, yeah, this guy should be a headlining top-level champion in WWE, but it's the empty arena era, man. You can kind of get away with just doing wacky stuff because you don't have a crowd response to worry about. So, you know, we've learned that certain wrestlers, you know, individual wrestlers aren't that impactful on ratings anymore. So, I mean, Braun's run hasn't been the most... I want to say yes, even though my head kind of says no. No, but I'm right there in the middle, man. I'm sorry for ruining your question, but I'm right there. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know whether I want to see him try and cash in on the Fiend and just see how that goes, or what. But I mean, at the end of the day, Jinder Mahal was WWE champion. This prestige is kind of not a thing anymore in WWE. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Maybe we should have a vote or something like that. Let's move on to today's and finally, and a guy who I've done a complete 180 on Wednesday nights, Dexter Lumis. He tweeted this out just yesterday ahead of tonight's episode of NXT. It's just a terrifying picture of a trunk of a car, because as we all know, Roderick Strong is terrified of it and ran, I think, out of America on last week's episode of NXT when he went to therapy with Kyle O'Reilly.
Dexter Lumis. That's all I have to say.
I love it. I've gone through, I think WWE have kind of embraced the bollocks now, and having him being this sort of odd couple tag team with Velveteen Dream is something I'm very intrigued with. But yeah, this whole storyline about Roderick Strong's so good at all this. We should give him so much credit as well, selling this. He was terrified of the boom on the Undisputed Era's entrance the other week, so credit where it's due. But yeah, more sort of Twitter bants between NXT stars. I really enjoy this. Let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Myself and the Dudley Boys previewing the Wednesday Night War a little bit later on today. You can also let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. And whilst you're there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at...
You can follow me at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for this guy. It's a heffalump, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, for listeners on the podcast, it's a heffalump.
It's the heffalump in it, so that's my new face. Just going to put it here for the rest of the video.
Right, you can also follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray, to the heffalump. Screw you, Hay Fever. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you soon.
What noise does a heffalump make? It's like...